always say you have to accept as a human being. That's the only way you can live in whatever environment you find yourself in. You have to do your own research and find out what is the core thing or field that go around in this environment. And like you're saying, in the industry like this, everything is based off value. Like, bro, if you don't have it, there's certain rooms you can't get into, and you have to accept it, as a human being. Because if you don't accept it, that is when you start getting depressed, because you feel like you have the right to be appreciated to a certain point, but you're not. Do you understand? But the moment you just accept that, okay, this is how this industry is, and one thing about me, I have accepted it. So I'm never in a down mood because I was expecting a certain type of love from a certain environment and I didn't get it. Do you understand? It never ever gets to me. And it's because I have sat down, gone through the entire rooms when it comes to this industry, and I have written down notes, and I think I have learned so much. Even when it comes to association in the industry, I don't go where I'm not invited to. I'm in my house. Do you understand? And I know that there's a lot of fake vibrations. They will only smile with you when there's something that they can get from you, and it cuts across aside the industry. But that's why it's human beings. You just have to understand, accept, and then just do what will make you happy. Maybe you give out the love. If you don't get it back, at least you're giving out the love.
Reciprocity.
Yeah.
Is a part. It's is part of what sustains love.
Oh yeah, it is. But unfortunately, it's like you are still going to be in the industry. Do you understand? So maybe what you're gonna do is just take a few steps back from certain environments that's not reciprocating the love, but you gotta do it. You have to do it. Did you get it?
Okay. And then when the person goes through this time, just knocking against the wall, hitting obstacles and all of that. And, there's wear and tear on your person, when you finally come out on the other side, you've achieved all of that. How do you not stay bitter about that journey?
What journey?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, experiencing that, being an emerging artist is such a brutal journey.
Very.
And then you navigate through all of this industry with a lot of love in your heart. You experience love and tear.
Yeah.
And you're now on the other side. In quote, you've blown.
Yeah.
You're over, you've hit the light. How do you now not feel bitter or feel angry at what has happened on this journey?
A couple years ago, if you asked me this question, I probably would have said something different. But right now, I'm going to say what I said previously, that I had to come to an understanding.
Okay.
When I now got to this stage in my music career and I look back at when I was starting, then I'm now like, oh, so this is why that was this way and that was that way, is because this was supposed to be that and that. Certain people that I never even thought they would ever want to speak to me are now trying to speak to me every other day, but it's mainly because of what you have or what I have as a person. So I just came to an understanding that, okay, this is how it is and it's not going to change. Any emerging artist that will pop out or any emerging creative that will pop up, you try to do certain things, you're not going to get it done your way. You go to certain places, they'll give the chairs to some people and then you would have to stand. They might not let you enter or all of that. There's some privileges you wouldn't enjoy, but you have to understand that that is what it is. So it's either you sign up for it or you just don't get in. Do you get what I'm saying? You just have to understand it's like it's part of the contract when you're getting into that space, And the moment you understand it, you wouldn't you wouldn't even want to do certain things that will put you in a certain box where you feel like you are not part of it, you know. Yeah. So I literally came to an understanding that, bro, this is what you guys really are. This is how this industry is. There's nothing that can be changed about it.
Now, on the other side, you have major label support.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have major label support. And how did that, having that, understanding that level of work and understanding that system, now that you're on the other side, how does the major label support, I have two questions actually. The first is, how does that astroturf your game? How does it push your game forward? And then the other one is, working from a position of like love and service, and now you have to find a way to make it intersect with this level of commercial demand, the highest in the world. What does that do to your artistry?
Right. I would say the involvement of my label, Sony Music, I believe it was like it became an additional like a speaker.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like when I started, it was my microphone and maybe my little cute speaker. But now when the label gets attached to it, it's like a louder voice where like you're heard louder.
So an amplifier.
Yes, an amplifier is the word. That is where I always say that the label has like done to the work. You know, it's just like trying to climb a tree and there's no ladder, so you kind of have to use your legs to you'll be able to do it, but it's just like you're using your legs to do that. And then now the ladder comes in and then you're still climbing, but it's a bit better than when you are not using the ladder. That's basically what it is now. And then it makes it easier when you, the artist, your artistry is easy to be lauded. Do you get what I'm saying? So it just makes everything easier. You know, one thing about me, I literally am involved with everything about my artistry.
You're that pedantic.
Very, everything. Production, writing, creation, even video directing, all of that. Like, I get myself involved, even my looks on stage or everything. I always like to get myself involved because I want the people to love me for my originality. You know, even if somebody is adding in a few ideas, it's still fused with what I genuinely want.
But doesn't that mean you're always on?
So the thing is, I'm not like all over it.
Okay.
You know, there's a little, like, I add my 2 cents to it because at the same time too, if I do that, then I'm being a bit selfish if I'm doing everything or I want to be involved with everything. But I just like to sprinkle in a few ideas so that they can like merge that with what they are also like bringing to the table. Yeah.
And the wider ecosystem that you're primarily from, Ghana, the boots on the ground from the major labels, have you seen a noticeable shift in how you guys approach the game now?